Welcome to the Vol Report with Cooper Mays, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. That's not Cooper there, especially yes, tight end Jacob Warren sitting in as Coop, a little banged up in preseason camp. And I'm sure you would echo this, Jacob, that we're all looking forward to Cooper getting back, but love visiting with you. And thanks for pinch hitting.
Of course, happy to be here.
Yeah, great stuff. Let's talk some scrimmage as you guys went in the second scrimmage of the year, and when you look back on that, as far as the offense, what are some things that you guys would like to improve on that you saw that said, "Hey, when scrimmage 3 rolls around, let's address this."
I think just there's always there's always the tempo piece, right? There's always how fast can we play, how fast can we get the ball snapped. What are the things that are limiting us from being able to do that, right? Whether it's a wide receiver alignment, or somebody's not seeing the signal, or the offensive line is not snapping down, or the quarterback's not hasn't made his reads yet. They're just these different things that kind of keep us from playing as fast as we want to play. Those are the things that you go in and you watch the film, and they're super obvious to us because we kind of know exactly what it is that we need to do in order to accomplish this. Um, but yeah, I mean, things like that, things like ball security, just being able to take care of the ball, whether it's the quarterback throwing it or the running backs or tight ends, wide receivers, offensive linemen picking up a fumble, like whatever it may be, just emphasizing ball security, taking care of the ball at all times. And then just our detail of our games, right? And that's eliminating the mental errors and the mental mistakes, just things that are real self-inflicted, that are just a result of maybe a lapse in focus, or being tired, right? Like this is a big thing that we're all dealing with right now, middle of camp and towards the end of camp, is just being tired, man. Like just body hurts. Once the body hurts, the body starts telling the mind that I can't do this, I can't do that. But being able to overcome those things, being able to overcome the heat and the sweat and all those things, and just not making excuses, and being able to just go out and execute our job to the best of our ability.
And I think this is probably about the time where the real bonding happens too. It happens in the off season, but now, I mean, it's not fun preseason camp.
Right. You gotta love it, man. You have to love the process, and you it makes it a lot easier to love the people. When you're in there with people that you love, and Cooper being one of them, man, just a guy that I truly enjoy seeing every day. All those guys in the offensive line room, we're right behind them all day. So if they're having a bad day, that means I'm probably having a bad day too, right? So just relying on each other, building up the trust in each other that we will be where we say we're going to be. We're going to execute our assignment. We're going to do everything that we need to do to take care of each other. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take care of our running backs, our quarterbacks, our wide receivers, ourselves, all those different things. And you definitely kind of build some good relationships along the way.
You have a deep running back room. By the way, the Vol Report today with Jacob Warren is brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. Integrity matters. 50 years. That's right, 50 years in service in East Tennessee, the Knoxville area. They've got you covered. Jalen Wright got some praise from Josh Heupel recently, and he's got that little wiggle, and I really like him as a runner. What, you don't like the little wiggle? You don't like that reference? The little shake he's got?
I'm sorry, that was funny. That little wiggle. He does have that little wiggle in him, though. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
He does. For a power back that he can be, he's a great mix of shiftiness and power. How would you describe him?
I mean, just that. I mean, the guy, if you knew him or knew of him when he was a freshman, did not look like he does now at all. Right? He was a muscular guy, but was thinner, was a skinnier guy, and I think that's where a lot of the shiftiness comes from. Is just the fact that he hasn't always been this really big, stout, like running back, power back, but just the work that he's done in the weight room, just over the past few months and the past year, you can see an extreme difference in just his body and the way he looks and the way he runs and how powerful he is, and is definitely developing that side of his game where he's like, look, if I can't juke you out, like I'm just going to run right through you, and was more than capable of doing that. So it's fun to see, man. It's fun to watch just the film and watch him run and the cuts he makes, and that's all of our backs too. Like just the way that they're able to make plays with the ball in their hands and get extra yards after contact is truly really really special.
You see guys coming off the edge all the time because you've got to block if you're not going out in pass routes. And I'm curious what you've seen out of your edge rushers as you're trying to keep them off of Joe Milton.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys. Obviously, this kind of twofold, right? Three or fourfold, right? So you got linebackers that come off the edge. You got safeties that come off the edge. You got the actual edge, right? The defensive ends and all those things. And you also have DBs, right? Corners and stuff that'll come on different pressures. Um, all of our guys do a really good job of just being relentless in their rush. You don't get a lot of them just quitting right after the first move. They're always kind of trying to react and counter move. And um, obviously D-line guys, those ends, that's what they get paid to do, right? They get paid to rush the passer, and that's kind of their MO. And it's very, it's difficult being in there, but a lot of times we're not asked to just one-on-one block those guys. The guys we handle with a lot is, the linebackers, whether they're wrapping or whether they're, inserting or adding or whatever it may be. And those guys, man, the same deal is they're physical, they're fast. If you don't have a good base, if you don't have good hands and good leverage on them, then they're going to beat you. And that's amazing that they're on my team because that means that they're going to beat all these other cats around the league that, might not approach it the right way. But yeah, I mean, guys like Arian Carter and Keenan Peely and all of those other linebackers that we've been talking about this whole time. Aaron Beasley, obviously extremely shifty, extremely fast. Then you got guys, on the perimeter that are, our safeties can blitz well, our corners can blitz well. We're really definitely very confident blitz team for sure, just because we have so much talent around the field.
Is there any one guy that when you line up on him and you know that it's a pass play and you're going to stay in for pass protection, that either with his hand down or from the linebacker position or an edge rusher position could have his hand up, you say, "Oh, this is going to be a challenge. This dude's pretty good."
Yeah, you got to buckle up versus Keenan Peely. KP is a guy that again is just a massive human, really big, really strong, powerful dude, but also extremely really good on his feet, which obviously gives you issues, right? Because do I prepare for a bull rush? Do I prepare for a speed move? Will he go speed to bull? Like these are things that he knows how to do. He's super talented, super skilled when he rushes, just because he has a lot of experience. And if you make a mistake, if you're leaning too far over your shoulders, like he's going to hit you with a speed move. If you're back on your heels, he's going to use power. And his ability to change it up in between a rush, right? Whether he thinks he'll go speed and then he'll hit you with the power, he'll hit you with a bull rush, whatever it may be. You definitely kind of have to, come correct, I guess, if you want to say, whenever you see KP and he's the one you're going to have to block if he doesn't that pressure.
So let me ask you this. Would you describe him as relentless?
Yeah, that's a good word. I mean, I think that's how our defense, that's just what they do, right? That's how they want to be known. They talk about, flying to the ball, being able to always, have at least, not at least, but have as many orange jerseys around the ball at the end of the play as you can. And definitely doesn't change with those guys. They're just the same.
Well, the reason I ask is I've covered a couple of Polynesian guys,
Oh, yeah.
and they always are tough and relentless.
Always.
You've probably faced a couple, but I can't remember one that didn't have this innate fire and passion for the game.
That's
None.
all it is. That's what it is. It's passion, dude. They care so much and they're so prideful and passionate about, first of all, just their heritage, their background, being Polynesian, being a football player. It runs deep in their families. You generally like their cousins and their brothers and their sisters and their dads and their uncles. Everyone played football. Everyone played sports. And so it's truly like a very passionate, prideful thing for them. And yeah, they don't take it lightly. They really, truly, want to make their family proud, themselves proud, and obviously, I guess represent their culture in a way as well.
No, it's really cool, and passion is the best word I can think of as well. Is there a guy that plays with his hand down? I know you don't go against him directly, but that you're like he's having a really good preseason camp.
I mean, dude, a lot of our guys are, a lot of the guys that I face are in. So you got guys like James Pierce, Tyree West, Don Bailey, Amari Thompson kind of bumps out there to that 4-eye spot every once in a while. Elijah Simmons obviously just wreaks havoc inside. Like there's these guys that have their hand in the ground that will truly be vertical threats with run defense, and then also be able to have the athletic ability to make people miss when they're pass rushing, all those things. So Roman Harrison's another one of those guys. Young guy, Caleb Herring, that's coming along. Brother of linebacker Elijah Herring, like just super physical, super fast, and will be just fine. Hold their own definitely in this league.
Is there any one player out of there that you look at and think he's the most physically gifted? Maybe not the most polished right now, but just he's got it.
Um, I mean, dude, like this is for James Pierce is he was a 5-star coming out of high school, like obviously very big recruit, but I mean this kid's just as tall as me, right? Long arms, long legs, fast, can run, like super athletic. Um, Again, gets paid to rush and pass. I mean, like that's truly what he does, and it's an art for him, and definitely been good to kind of see him come along. You obviously got guys like Tyler Barron too, right? Who are just these big, strong humans that are extremely athletic, and so just looking forward to seeing those guys. But yeah, James Pierce definitely has a lot of potential for sure.
You've had a couple of scrimmages to go against a full defensive backfield because they're never complete in the spring because there's always holding some guys out.
Yeah.
But who are some DBs that have impressed you to this point?
So we got a transfer guy, Gabe Juduali, and
Mhm.
um, talked about him last week maybe the Vanderbilt thing.
I think it's been a little longer, but go right ahead because I really like his attitude, and I'll get to that.
Yeah, a guy that has bounced around a little bit. Started at Vanderbilt. Actually played against us multiple times at our place, so he's been in Nealon before. But goes to BYU, uh, meets Keenan Peely actually, and was teammates with Keenan Peely there. And then obviously transfers here. But a guy that is just extremely physical, man. Like just loves to be involved in run fits and loves to make plays on the perimeter whenever his number is called to go make a tackle. Doesn't go 1-for-1 on blocks, like really tries to destroy blocks and beat blocks with physicality, and shows up as a really, really solid tackler. Um, and he's not necessarily the biggest guy either, right? And that's something I love to see is someone that just, man, truly has a heart for it and is just physical and, doesn't matter how big he is or how strong or whatever he is, he'll go stick it in there and he'll go, be a threat whenever it comes to making plays on the ball. Obviously, guys like our safeties. You got Jalen McCullough, who has an extreme amount of experience. Marion McDonald, who has an extreme amount of experience. These guys that are just tried and true will be there for us, and we can kind of count on them. Obviously, rolling guys at corner too. We have a lot of new young corners that you're trying to get reps and you're trying to see what they can do. But being led by guys like Kamal Haddon and Warren Burrell and these guys that are super talented. So definitely, trying to just continue to develop them and continue to just put trust in them and understand that man, that's a hard job. Like I would never be able to do that. Be able to guard another person running full speed 1-on-1. You should never even ask me to do that, right? Because I would tell you no. But they have a hard job and they do a really good job. So excited to see them.
The Vol Report brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. 50 years in Knoxville. Integrity matters. Don't go with the other guys that might say, hey, you need a whole new unit, when in reality, you just need a part or you need some coolant. City Heating and Air Conditioning. Integrity matters. CityHeatandAir.com. It just occurred to me that I'd spoken to you recently about AC, Arian Carter,
Mhm.
and we spoke just a minute ago about Keenan Pilley. But I don't know that we've talked about Aaron Beasley this preseason.
Yeah.
Maybe we take him for granted because of how well he played, especially towards the end of last year. But is he on the verge of a breakout season?
He is, man. He really is, and obviously you see a performance like that Orange Bowl, right? That's kind of what I think about whenever I think about his kind of breakthrough and him really showing up the way that he's wanted to and that he's been capable of. But just man, talk about a guy that you don't necessarily want to see, right? You don't necessarily want to have like that he's the one you're gonna have to block or whatever. Gives the guys a lot of trouble and is super shifty, is super really you know, just good at manipulating his body to defeat blocks. And again, isn't a huge guy like Keenan Peely, but man, understands where he needs to be, how he needs to get there, and uses just his pad level and his athletic ability to make a lot of plays. So he'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to see it. Obviously, those guys will just roll and they'll just continue to make plays. And doesn't it's good that we got to the point where it doesn't really matter who's in there, right? You can trust all of them, and they can really go make plays for you.
When you see these linebackers, and I guess you could say this for every unit across the board, when you go back to 2021 when Josh Heupel took over, But when you see the linebackers that you have now, no knock against a couple years ago,
Yeah.
but how much more proficient are they gonna be, do you think, in making plays, game-changing plays than maybe when they were getting used to a new defense?
Yeah, that's a big part of it too. Is the guys that Keenan and Arian and those guys. It is a new defense technically, right? But we've had time to work on it, and they've all grown a lot in their own regards. But just being able to go out there and just be the leader of the defense, right? That middle linebacker spot is pivotal in communication and getting a call set in the front, talking to the DBs about where how they fit into the coverage. But we have a lot of really smart guys right there right now, and guys that can, again, kind of like the tight end in the offense, can make a lot of things right, just with effort, with just a good, mental understanding of the game and kind of what's going on and how they fit into the puzzle. And guys that'll meet it with force too, guys that'll be aggressive and will go really take. We say take your leverage to the ball. Man, aren't scared to go hit, aren't scared to fit the gaps and make plays. So no reason why they shouldn't be extremely successful this year.
Yeah, you have a nickname for Arian Carter, it's AC.
Yeah.
We have any more nicknames in the linebacker group, like, maybe the Big Pill or the Beast, or I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I di
On the
what
big
Yeah, we're workshopping this. I don't know what that means.
It's funny because it seems like nicknames just get so simple, right? Because Aaron Carter's AC, Keenan Peely's KP, Aaron Beasley's AB, or just
Uh,
B's. So like you pretty much just go with the initials, and that's kind of just the easy way to call it. No true nicknames, I don't think yet though. Maybe we'll get there eventually.
have I ever asked you your nickname?
You have.
What is it?
Well, okay, that depends on who you're asking.
Okay.
If you ask my friends, some of them call me McCallan calls me the mayor. Okay,
The mayor, is that new?
that's new. He calls me the mayor because ever since he got here, every time we go out, we go anywhere, we go to the mall, we go somewhere, people kind of know who I am, right? Or we'll say something, or I'll say hi to someone that I know, or whatever. He's like, dude, this guy's the mayor. Like he knows everybody. Everybody knows who this guy is. So that's a cool one that I actually enjoy being called. Like I don't mind being called the mayor.
So, actually, if you think about it, that makes you Peyton Manning's boss because he's the
Yeah,
sheriff.
baby. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you're the mayor, so you could call and tell Peyton Manning what to do.
Right, but I wouldn't mind taking his class at some point, so he might be my professor. He might be the professor in the
Or you should be a Manning cast.
okay.
What about that? If you just called him up and said, "Hey, I wanna be a Manning cast."
We'll see. Probably not, but whatever. Continue. J War is a big one. Just easy first initial, last three. So that's a big one. J is a big one. A7 is a big one. I don't know. There's one person on the team that calls me the Wing King because Craven Wings.
The winking.
So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of cool different ones. I'll pretty much respond to anything at this point.
I like this guy, the mayor. He is Jacob Warren, and on behalf of our entire community and on behalf of City Heating and Air Conditioning, and I'm sure the mayor here would agree with this. Get well soon, Cooper Mays. Thanks again for sitting in, Jacob. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
He is Jacob Warren. I'm Dave Hooker. The Vol Report with Cooper Mays / Jacob Warren today is brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. This has been a presentation of Off the Hook Sports.